So today we've got a Midland 48 Excel. This is the early version from about 1999 because it's still a current model. So if we can get this working, which came from the batch of radios I bought from Lancashire, we'll be selling this one on eBay as its surplus requirements. So we're going to have to sort the power lead out, but we'll sort that out if and when we get the set working. It could be working. They were untested sets. So it's to MPT 1382, which is UK and CEPT 80 channel FM only. So it's not the multi version. So if I remember rightly, this is the one I think it is. It uses conventional leaded components and not surface mount. It's come with the side bobbles, so we must remember to put them back with it. I don't want to have a collection of thumb screws. It sounds like a medieval torture device. I'll tell you what, we better open it up just in case there's some surprises inside. I've got a microphone which we rejected off the Midland 78 we used to have in the test car. I don't know why we rejected it. We'll see if we can sort that out. That could be a mic that's later. But there you go, that's a mic. Otherwise it'll be a standard mic. And that's an up-down mic. I will just start with the filling the sheet in. So what do I not like about this? Because I remember we bought one of the multis to actually use as a reference set here, and these days we use either Rotel 230 or Harvard 420M as a reference set. It wasn't that these weren't good enough, because they work alright. But they do suffer from dry joints, they do suffer from this meter failing. And the cheeky what's this, want about 24 quid for a replacement meter. Yeah, just make something that's pretty shoddy and then charge for replacing it. It sounds like the automotive trade, doesn't it? Yes, look at that, folks. It's the conventional one. That's the squelch board, isn't it? It's got this something squelch. Is it noise killer? Was it Midland 98? We had 3 cars here, all with Midland 98s or whatever they were, and they had this noise killer thing. And it made it sound worse, and it was less audible with it in use. Right, we'll power it up, see what happens. Nothing. Have I got a bad connection? Let's check my crocodile clip leads. Well, that could be ropey. Well, it's dead, folks. It's worse than that, it's dead, Jim. So if it was an AM version, it would have a modulation transformer down there. I've got no info on these, you know, I'd just have to play it by ear. You'd think after 20 odd years I'd have some info, but no. So, dead set. Well, we better see. Oh, right, well. This may be a no-hoper. This may be the 5-minute video. It's already been looked at, hasn't it? It's already been looked at for dry joints. But that isn't going to be why it's dead. Unless something's been shorted out. I'm definitely connected to power. There's the meter. So where does the power go in? Well, there's 2 connections there. Is my meter in view? It is now. So we don't seem to have got power going into the set. So does it mean this makeshift lead has failed? So we've got 13.8 there. No, we have got it. So we've got on-off volume. Oh, it's lit up this time. Oh, right, well, it's probably lack of use in a dirty power switch. So the blue screen sets seem to have that VCO delay. So why is it on channel 9? What on earth do you need all these buttons for? Right, so I'll plug our extension speaker in. I see it doesn't have PA. You'd expect PA with all these buttons. So that's working. Now we will be going over this for dry joints if the set works. It'll go to Mr. Chippy's department. Even if we do it on here and don't show you that, it will happen. Yeah, so it is transmitting. We'll just put in. I don't appear to have got a camera on the other channel. Why would that be? Have we had a power failure and the switch has gone off? So all the other cameras are on, but the sub switcher is. Let's go to picture in picture. Isn't. Oh, I think we've had the power go off. This camera has it's SVGA. It's not the same. Not SV. No, we'll start again. This camera is S-Video, and it has to go through an upscaler to fit into this switcher, and that, if it comes unpowered, loses its plot. You have to tell it whether you're PAL or NTSC and all that malarkey. Right, so signal generator to 2779125. Right, that'll do nicely. So it's receiving, but it's deaf. I'll tell you how deaf. By putting the cyanide meter on. And it is 7.4 microvolts for 12 dB cyanide. So perhaps the RF gain's not in the right place. Well, that's a start. Yeah, that's absolutely fine, 0.78. User error. And for 10 dB, 0.65. And for 20 dB, if it ever does it, it is 2.4. Let's go back to a speaker we can actually hear. And we'll do the squelch. So squelch to full. Let's put this on the attenuator. 3, 10, 30, 100, 300. It is 490 microvolts. And the threshold is a not very good 1.8 microvolts. So that would cause it to break up going around scratchy corner. The meter doesn't light up. And S9 is a ridiculous 1, 3, oh. 600, 800 microvolts. Oh, it is lit up, I think. Or something. I think it's the front that's lit up. Not available. Right. On transmit, when we key it up, says 2.5 watts. Let's turn that volume down. I probably just caught it on my fat tummy. And let's go to the main meter. And it is doing 2 watts. So does my up-down mic work? No, it's the wrong mic. We'll put a standard mic to this. How do we change channel? Oh, there's a channel switch. I'm optimising this for UK, even though we're selling it. Transmit on channel 40 is 2 watts. Transmit on channel 1 is 2 watts. Out of interest, we'll put it to CPT channel, wherever that is. And it's CPT1 is 2 watts. So it's absolutely the same right across the board, which is good. So the transmit lineup is there, there and there. And this will be no doubt receive. We can prove that. Put some volume back on it. Oh, we're on the wrong channel, of course, aren't we? Yes, Mr. Tango. I don't know which. So if it's green, it's CPT. If it's UK, it's red. Yeah, right. So let's look at the transmit. There's going to be a transmit power preset somewhere, and we're going to have to work out what these presets are. I will take a photo of this, and then we've got that in the future, because I think I've only seen one as early as this once before. So it's going to be a bit of educated guesswork. But we'll start off with the transmitter, and here we go. We're on channel 20. I'll just pop it onto frequency, I think, first. Where's the reference crystal? Where's my other glasses? The reference crystal is there, and the reference crystal is there, so it must be that one. I think they've got the way the phase lock loop works on this must be such that it has to have a separate reference crystal for the receiver rather than coming off the phase lock loop like we'd have in the 2781 sets usually. Okay, so we're now on frequency. I will just show you that. It wasn't far out anyway. What we're doing the VCO. Right, into transmit. Show the main meter once again. I'm going to have to keep looking at the time because I need to be somewhere else at 10 o'clock. That is more central. That was already spot on. I think there's one under here somewhere. Probably takes a bigger tool than that. So at this stage I can't feel that because it's not central. Oh, I've got it. So as we're warming up with powers coming down, we're now at 1.8 watts. So one of these is going to be a power preset. So we're going to have deviation, transmit meter. It's going to be 5, aren't there? Deviation, transmit, that's probably deviation. That's probably going to be squelch. That's probably going to be receive meter. That's probably going to be transmit meter, and that's probably going to be power. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Definitely not going to be that one. No, it's not. That's power. But it's already flat out. So which one's meter? That one? I think it's going to be that one. Yeah, that's meter. So we'll just make a note. RV105. RV105 is power meter. I think this is going to be deviation. So we'll just have a casual look. Wallow, it is. So RV501 so just finding my way through these presets, let's just look at receive meter. Put 100 microvolts on the receiver. We've got signal S3 showing, so that one. Nope. That one. No. Well, it surely isn't that one. Yes, it is. Can't set that yet because the receiver's not been done. So RV201 is S meter. What else have we got? I think I've got a European CPT only version of one of these. That's going to be worth nothing, isn't it? But one day I'll dig that out and that can go on eBay. So Squelch is going to be one of these. Power's gone off again. I think we're going to just redress this wire at the power lead end. I'm going to have to change this red wire. It's the wrong kind of wire. It's for test probes, and it's really, really thin. That could be what's limiting our current for transmit. Right, we're just finding the squelch preset. So turn squelch to full. It's that one. RV103 is squelch. So it's 101, we don't know what it does. Go back to power. Oh, it's what? That was it. That's why it was doing 2 watts, the power lead. So we'll turn the power down. It's now doing 5.5 watts. So what's that do? Haven't got the foggiest. Well, that was an easier fix than we thought, wasn't it? So the power lead extension was causing the voltage to drop on transmit, because when we tested it with the meter, we got the full rail voltage of 13 point something, but it was dropping with the wrong kind of power lead. So we'll be redoing that, or sorting that out in some respect. So there you go, how to bring the set from 2 watts to 5 watts, just like that. We've already gone through the transmitter, and let's see what we've now got. So I've now got 4 watts on channel 20. Let's go to channel 40. Got 4 watts on channel 40. We've got 4 watts, I could say 4.01 there. And on CPT, we've got 4.1. But nobody would be using that anyway, and I'm sure used to be the post office used to come round and beat you up. These days the post office just put things on postmasters, don't they? Oh, and fines for people using the pre-bought stamps without the barcodes. And I have noticed that if there's a fine with the post office for something which is the wrong weight, so let's suppose you send a letter and you've said it's 100 grams, it turns out to be 120 grams, so they incur a fine. So it'd be a £1.50 fine plus the missing postage, something like that. But you know what? If you put a stamp on an envelope, let's say it was for the absolute maximum weight, and then you put absolutely nothing in the envelope, it wouldn't send you a refund, you know. Only works one way. Oh, you've overpaid the postage, here's a bit of money back. Because it's PR2797, it doesn't have a requirement for low power, so it doesn't have low power. I don't know what it's 1.6 amp, and we don't know what it was because it was in fault condition. So, so far so good. We've got it transmitting nicely. I'll go back to channel 20. But it's a shame somebody's not enjoyed the benefit of this set by having the power lead being faulty. And I only got 2 watts out of it. But it's still on frequency. I've just checked that because it could affect things. So I want the power meter to now read 4 watts. On the meter lights up now, it's getting proper voltage. There we go, neatly between 3 and 5. So meter lamp is now done. Oh, I know what that's going to... It probably calibrates the external meter. For S meter. Right, so we'll terminate this session with doing the deviation, and I'll plug into the test set behind me, just in case the Marconi one is lying today. It lies about 1 in 10 times. Needs the capacitors doing, but it's not going to get that. I'm too close to retirement. Especially when we've got another 3 test sets we can use. Wow, it's absolutely spot on, the deviation. It is perfect. And it was on the Marconi. So we had 2.4, and I can safely say it was 2.4. It is actually 2.2 to 2.5 kilohertz. So no adjustment needed. I did fiddle with it, didn't I? And we kind of got it right on the Marconi, and it turns out to be spot on. We'll turn that test set off. So we've done the transmitter. And when I come back from town being 7.7 miles away, and I've had my lunch and done an hour in the organ workshop, we'll come back to this and finish off the receiver. But it's gone from coming in as a dreadful set to actually working quite well. We just need to tidy up that dry joint business on the back. Right, so I've done one of our photos. And we'll fill in some of what they are. .105 was the power meter. We've come to the conclusion, I think, that 101 is the squelch, is the S meter external, but we'll prove that. 201 S meter. And 103 squelch. That's the detector, that's deviation, that is power. And now the set's cooled down for 2 hours. We'll just check what we are doing with that. It's slightly risen. There we go. So that brings us to receive. I'm still shocked at the power lead being the problem with it, and the reason this radio was only delivering 2 watts. Right, we'll swap the extension speaker for the test instruments, and I've still got this daft attenuated speaker I did on Christmas Day. So we'll switch over to the inset picture now being the oscilloscope and set the detector, which I think is going to be a little bit out because I can't get 20 dB properly. But it's spot on, so that's me lying. Right, we'll go over to the cyanide meter. And we'll drop that to about 4 dB and see whether any improvement can be had to the receiver. That looks broken. So I think our first front end one is this. Well, it's made a tiny improvement, so I must be right. So I'll drop the attenuator. Massive improvement. Drop the attenuator. That was already spot on. Just increase the signal for that. It looked broken, but it isn't. That's also absolutely spot on. So let's go back to the very first one. Wonder why that was so far out. So let's get a new reading. So for 12 dB, we've now got 0.35. For 10 dB, we've got 0.29. And for 20, it's just not quite 1. 1.2. Let's deal with this squelch. I'll go. Oh, before we do that, I just want to see what it's like on CPT. I'm not exactly bothered. I don't think anybody else is either. So let's put it on. Tell you what, we'll put it on channel 1, so it's as bad as it gets. 27.60125 on the signal generator. Just let you see that. 27. It's 26.965, isn't it? 26. No wonder we charge more for going on to CPT. Takes ages. Okay. So I want channel 1. So for channel 1, I'm on the wrong scale. It is 1 point. Yeah, it's 1.7 microvolts. Ten dB, 1.4. Not quite as deaf as a Cobra 29. And for 20, 2.4, which is exactly where it was before on. So as you can see, the tuning for UK is a massive difference between where we've got with CPT. So let's just out of interest, let's just look where channel 40 is on CPT. So 27405. I'm not an experimenter, but today we'll fiddle about. 27405. That's why it's important when people have these radios tuned at 80 channel to say whether they want 40 UK or whether they want the 80 to be the absolute peak, because it's going to be always going to be a compromise. So 27405, channel 40. There we go. So that's channel 1. This is now channel 40. So we've got 0.6, .51 and 20 for what it's worth, 2.4. This top figure is just noise. That's all that makes it like that. So here comes the silly bit. At which channel does the receive go under 1 microvolt, get worse than 1 microvolt? Let's put in channel 19, the 27185. Right, so now we'll turn it to channel 19. So we're at 0.9, so that's 40. This is now 19, so it's 0.95. 0.82, and still 2.4. Right, so from channel, say about channel 15 on CPT right through to channel 40 on UK channels, this set works well. Under channel 14 it starts to be on the deaf side of things. So that has been, I have done that deliberately. So the optimisation is for UK channel 35. So when we put this on eBay, if you want this to be working fantastically on CPT and you're never going to use UK, don't bid on it. If you want this to work fantastically on UK, bid on it. There's plenty more Midland 48s where this came from, or not necessarily where this came from, but there's plenty more Midland 48s. So instead of this being lousy performance throughout the 80 channels, this is fantastic performance on UK 40 and becomes lousy under channel 14 on CPT. Well done, Mr. Tango. So, and as for this, if anybody's ever had any positive results from these noise things on these, I'd be interested to know, because I never have. So, let's go back to UK channels. I wasn't even going to check CPT, but I have done. I've now got to turn all the gear back. 27. Hey, we're back. Okay, so that leaves us with these presets to do. So we need to do the S meter. So let's put 100 microvolts on the signal generator. show you the attenuator. We've got 100 MIG lasers in the way. That wants to be bang on S9. It is bang on S9. I must have set that before my other things. And that was that preset. So this one, I think, is the external S meter. So let's just see whether we can get a reading. I don't know whether these are negative earth. We'll soon find out. Yes, they are. You know, maybe a top of the range set, but they are not a floating chassis, or perhaps that's a thing of the past. So if that's the connection, no, it's not. Can we actually get to the other side? Not taking the screen plate out, I'll tell you. Yeah, but that's what it is. Have we got an adapter on here? Yeah, we've got a 2.5mm adapter. That's the way to do it. Then we'll put our 3.5mm aerial adapter in, and then I can get to that connection, can't I? Yes, Mr. Tango, you can. .3, so we drop the signal on the signal generator. I'm expecting that to drop. So if I adjust this preset, does that alter? It does. Let's set that to 1. There we go. It was meter preset. So that's for the external S meter, which is what we thought. Good. So the transmit lineup is 1, 2, 3 there. The receive lineup of those 4 plus the detector. Transmit power, deviation, transmit meter, external S meter, internal S meter, and squelch. I'll scan that and then we'll have it in our on computer file. So basically, I'll be making a mic up behind the scenes, a standard mic. I say I've borrowed this from a Midland 78, but it doesn't do up down. Oh, it does. Oh well, in that case, it can go with the set. See how bothered I am. I thought it had a Midland decal in there, but it doesn't. And we did the deviation, wallow, and it was wallow. Let's just listen on our walkie-talkie. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this mic would be supplied with the later version of this, not with this version. So there you go. But that's what this is now going with. We'll do the mains lead. We'll do the power lead. We need to tidy up the back of this, sorting out. I'm going to check for dry joints. So it looks like it's been dealt with for dry joints, and then whoever's done the dry joints has overlooked the fact that the power lead was problematic. So I'll just have another look. We'll clean that with isopropyl alcohol. If I tell you what, we'll turn the power off. We'll do that now. I'll use the aerosol one today. Here's Mr. Chippy's toothbrush. Anyway, I'll pause the video while I just check for dry joints. Right, so that's cleaned up. I can still hear it receiving 1212, and we still have it transmitting, so that's a good job. Lids. So it looks like somebody went to a lot of trouble to sort the dry joints out on this, and then were unable to get the power beyond 2 watts. And just because of the power lead, so it's in nice condition. Let's take the signal off and set the squelch. Press scan. Switch the signal generator on. Yep. Oh, this noise killer thing. Turn the squelch down. It sounds all fake and processed. Right, we'll put it on the aerial. Turn the signal generator off. So I'll do the power lead behind the scenes. Made in Thailand. Well, no, Roger. Put the noise killer on. Yeah, it sounds as awful as I remember them doing when I had the Midland 98s in all the cars. What a gimmick. Kills the noise, kills the quality. Right. Go on 90 on CPT. Oh, something on channel 9. Must be an emergency. Well, no, Roger. As usual, nothing. Right, there we go. So I'll get that shoved on eBay and see if we can get some of our costs back. So just to go through that, full 4-watt output, 0.35 of a microvolt on the UK set of channels, and you know what? We never did squelch. We never did squelch. I'm going to have to go back, aren't I? Because it was lousy as it had come presented. So whether the tune-ups improve that, we'll find out. So back with the signal generator. Squelch to full. And where are we? Yeah, it's absolutely lousy. So the danger here was it was 1.8 microvolts to trigger, which meant that scratchy corner would have been a bit and of course this is why we do these tests. Oops, press something. What have I pressed? Emergency. Let's turn it off. And on again. I need to plonk the signal meter preset as well. So S meter oh, that's the internal S meter. I got it wrong. So that must be the external one I'll do a test on that in a second. Let's do the squelch. I'm glad I had to recheck it then. Squelch to full on the radio. Not quite 100 microvolts, 115 microvolts. There isn't a hard and fast rule on this. Right, set the squelch now on the set to minimum and switch the signal generator to standby. Set the squelch on the radio to threshold and let's see when it comes in. We're parked at 0.3 of a microvolt. Straight in, how about that? It's just not quite 0.3. It is 0.48. I was wondering what's getting warm down there. There's a big resistor which will be for all the dial lights. Right, we'll get back our adapter, plug it into the S meter. Get the meter back. Put S9 on the signal generator. Turn the volume down so we don't annoy everybody. And just see what we've got coming out. So 1.3 volts. So now we'll adjust, get that to stay in the hole. Now we'll adjust that other preset. Yeah. Not much variation though. Oh, once that's plugged in, the internal meter doesn't read at all. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I think that's external S meter. I might be wrong. So that's going to be turned to question mark. If we had a service manual or even a circuit diagram, we'd find out, but the only circuits I've got are a different version. So as I said, we did buy the multi-version of this to use as a reference set, and then we decided to use Roto 230 and Harvard 420Ms instead. And they do work better. Rotel 230 and Harvard 420Ms. It's very good, this. Now it's optimised on UK channels. But I think the mistake I made was that I optimised it over all 40 channels simply because we're using it as a set for doing tests with. There you go. Should have labelled them separately and had a separate set for UK. Right, we'll do an on-the-air test later on, and I've no doubt that'll work jolly well. Thanks for watching.